Halo Sobat Grit, kembali lagi di Selebriti Punya Cerita bareng aku Marsha. Nah di Selebriti Punya Cerita kali ini, Grit.id tuh lagi kedatangan 3 tamu yang menarik banget dan punya insight menarik juga, apalagi untuk pecinta film lokal dan juga internasional. Langsung aja kita kenalan langsung kali ya sama ketiganya.
Halo Sobat Grit, aku Muhammad Khan, perwakilan dari film Malam Pertobatan, sutradara Dian Suno.
Oh,
Sobat Grit, my name is JJ Lin. I'm here in Jakarta, World Cinema, with my film Brief History of a Family.
Hi, I'm Salman Najar. I forgot to say Sobat Grit. And I'm the writer and director of the film Hesitation Won't.
Oke, jadi mereka bertiga ini nih Sobat Grit, lagi ada di sini buat memperkenalkan ketiga filmnya masing-masing yang sedang diputar di Jakarta World Cinema ya Mas. Oke, boleh diceritain dulu nggak? Mungkin Mas kan lebih paham nih tentang si JWC ini sendiri.
Ya, jadi Jakarta World Cinema ini adalah festival film di Jakarta yang sangat menarik karena ngumpulin beberapa film, nggak cuman film Indonesia, tapi juga film dari beberapa negara gitu, dari film-film yang sudah punya kredit yang bagus gitu, yang ada dari festival, kayak misalkan filmnya beliau ini kemarin di Venice Film Festival, and then also your movie was in Sundance. Ya, jadi kayak film-film terpilih yang memang punya prestasi terus ditayanginnya di Jakarta World Cinema. So itu jadi kalau buat para pecinta film sih harus nonton sih Jakarta World Cinema.
Tapi sebenarnya bukan cuma film yang udah pernah diputar juga kan Mas. Jadi film yang adalah film yang emang pertama kali diputar
ya kayak filmku yang kemarin itu Malam Pertobatan itu baru premiernya di Jakarta World Cinema yang Malam Pertobatan itu.
Oke.
Gitu.
Jadi untuk info tambahan juga nih Sobat Grit, jadi di JWC ini tuh tahun ini tuh ada 120 film nih kalau saya yang diputar ya. 120 film, itu ada yang diputar secara offline, ada juga yang diputar secara online gitu. Kalau offline-nya itu ada diputar di mana tuh Mas?
Di CGV Grand Indonesia.
Oke, di CGV Grand Indonesia. Dari tanggal 21 September sampai 28 Desember 2024. Oke. Jadi emang kalau untuk filmnya Mas Han sendiri itu diputar pertama kali di JWC. Itu emang film yang dari awal emang udah ditentuin untuk diputar di JWC atau enggak tuh Mas?
Iya, emang dari awal di infonya kemarin memang kita bakal premiernya di JWC karena ini sebenarnya untuk platformnya untuk klik film. Bakal streaming online gitu. Cuman emang kayak premiernya di JWC.
Oke. Gitu. Nah, kalau untuk filmnya Mas Salman dan juga JJ gitu ya. Jadi mereka berdua ini nih Sobat Grit adalah sutradara dari 2 film internasional yang udah diputar juga di banyak negara lainnya gitu. Dan kali ini bisa ditonton secara langsung di acara JWC. Nah, kalau untuk dari 2 sutradara ini apa sih yang membuat keduanya mau filmnya tuh diputar di JWC dan sampai dua-duanya tuh mau nih datang ke festival ini gitu.
This is my first time in Indonesia, in Jakarta. And I was so happy to be here in the city and also for the festival because I think they made a good selection, good films from all over the world. I had the chance to watch some of the films while I was here. And I really liked the audience here. I think they were like really excited to, watch this kind of films. And we had Q&As after our films. And then they went really well because they were like really curious about like the reasons and their questions related with the film, and we had a long Q&As with the audience. And also I love the weather and the food here, so we had like a good time.
It's also my first time here, and I enjoy a lot the environment of the festival. Or the selection, of course, is excellent, like you said, and also I think it's a festival for the filmmaker and for the audience. So I really enjoyed communicating with the audience. Yesterday we had a premiere and it was a full house, which was very nice and surprising. And then most of them stay for the Q&A, and they have really good questions, and they feel very passionate. And they're also, because I can feel like they want to watch a different kind of cinema, and that is also, I think, what Jakarta World Cinema is trying to bring to the audience here.
Oke. Sebelum akhirnya berpartisipasi dalam JWC ini sendiri, apakah sebelumnya tuh udah mengetahui tentang festival ini sendiri?
I heard about it, but I didn't know so well. And actually, I was surprised to learn that it was just the third edition, because I think it looks like it has more, history, because it's a really well organized festival. It's a small team, but like they work so well, and I mean, thanks to them, we spent good time here.
Yeah, I know the festival went by different names in the past.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just chatting with the organizer yesterday about the rebranding, and it was good because I think the new name matches the ambition of the festival.
Kalau dari Mas Khan sendiri ini pertama kalinya di JWC atau?
Iya, pertama kali.
Oh, pertama kali berpartisipasi di sini. Gimana pendapatannya?
Seru festivalnya, nggak nyangka Jakarta punya festival sebesar ini, dan aku juga baru bergabung di JWC kan baru tahun ini gitu, dan happy banget dengan kemarin, excited banget sih lihat pilihan-pilihan filmnya banyak gitu. Menurut aku ini festival yang seru buat para pecinta film sih, harus datang sih.
Okay. Kalau di film Malam Pertobatan tuh juga ada sesi Q&A-nya juga nggak sih?
Kemarin ada waktu kita sempat screening, habis itu sempat ada Q&A sebentar, dan menarik banget karena kalau film Malam Pertobatan sendiri kan itu menceritakan tentang kejadian Indonesia tahun 80-an, penembakan misterius kan. Terus kemarin ada satu penonton, bapak-bapak, dia bilang, saya tuh ingat banget dulu waktu kejadian itu saya masih mahasiswa, dan sepanjang saya nonton film ini perasaanku tuh campur aduk, pikiranku bolak-balik ke masa itu dan sangat emosional. Sepanjang film tuh dia kayak bisa relate gitu, jadi kayak wah menarik ya gitu, karena buat aku yang memerankan peran itu kan lumayan agak berjarak sebenarnya kan, karena kan beda tahun gitu loh, aku kelahiran 90-an gitu, tapi ya menarik sih. Nah ternyata Q&A itu lebih, yang menarik dari Q&A kan itu ya, kita kayak menciptakan bonding antara film gitu, kita sebagai filmmaker sama audiensnya gitu. Ternyata ya menarik, aku pikir kayaknya kalau setiap pemutaran film ada Q&A itu akan lebih menarik sih.
Iya.
Gitu.
Dan kelihatan ya, maksudnya kalau penonton antusias dengan filmnya setelah nonton.
Iya.
Kalau untuk si Malam Pertobatan itu sendiri di JWC udah diputar berapa kali?
Baru sekali setahu aku.
Oh, langsung Q&A tuh.
Iya.
Oh gitu. Kalau dari Mas Khan sendiri tuh pas pertama kali diberikan si sinopsis film Malam Pertobatan tuh gimana sih Mas reaksinya? Kan sebenarnya untuk sinopsisnya gak biasa banget ya.
Kalau aku sih maksudnya gini ya, yang selalu aku suka gitu sebagai aktor, pasti selalu kayak aku tuh suka kalau dikasih peran-peran yang kayak aku bisa belajar apa ya dari peran ini gitu. Kayak misalkan nih ada film nih Malam Pertobatan, ceritanya tentang penembakan misterius, apa ya penembakan misterius. Jadi kayak hal-hal yang aku suka ketika ditawari sesuatu yang aku belum pernah dengar gitu. Jadi kayak akhirnya aku googling, aku akhirnya nonton dokumenter tentang penembakan zaman itu gitu, gimana orang-orang di zaman itu merasakan impactnya sampai sekarang, ada keluarganya yang hilang apa segala macam, dan menarik banget ya ternyata. Jadi kayak buat aku setiap peran yang aku mainin tuh kayak aku harus belajar, aku harus dapat satu pengetahuan dari situ. Itu sih yang menarik, proses semacam itu yang menurut aku sangat, kalau kata guru acting gue bilang, belajar acting itu sebenarnya pintu menuju kecerdasan gitu, karena setiap peran kita mainkan itu selalu membuka satu keilmuan baru gitu.
Iya,
kita akan belajar research apa segala macam gitu.
Oke. Nah kalau untuk filmnya Salman yang Hesitation One itu kan ceritanya itu juga sebenarnya, untuk cerita itu juga bukan cerita dengan storyline yang light juga ya, tentang seorang wanita yang tentang hukum lah kurang lebih kayak gitu ya, untuk filmnya sendiri itu. Ada alasan sendiri nggak sih Mas Salman kenapa pemeran utama dalam film Hesitation One tuh wanita?
You know, while writing, you just, I do things like intuitively. I don't like plan or think at the beginning. It's like, life. You're pregnant, there's gonna be baby, but you know the gender later. So it was born as like that from the beginning. But at the same time, later, of course, I thought about it and I tried to add some layers to it. Basically, it reflects the society in Turkey today. That's why we portrayed Canan in the center, but surrounding many mans, because this is how it is actually. So that's why she's trying to deal with many people throughout this journey.
Kalau dari JJ sendiri nih, untuk filmnya itu, tadi tuh aku udah sempat nonton trailernya nih Sobat Grit, menarik banget sih, mulai dari kayak coloringnya, mulai dari pengambilan gambarnya itu menarik banget. Sebenarnya pengen sih sebenarnya minta di kayak gimana sih direkturnya tuh nge-describe tentang si film itu sendiri gitu, secara singkat aja gitu.
So it is a story about a somewhat exchanged middle class family. So as a start, I wanted the whole environment to be a little bit clinical, a little bit cold in terms of color. And when this mysterious new boy coming into the family, it started to open a little bit of the color spectrum, and you see. Well, at the same time, you kind of wonder what is this kid doing to the family. Maybe he has something sinister in mind. But in terms of color, in terms of cinematography and art, you kind of see him also bringing in some warmth into the story. And then it becomes a question for the audience to see, like, okay, what is he going to do to interpret his motivation?
About the story of your movie itself, what do you want to deliver to the audience about the movie?
The story?
Or
the message?
The
Of the
message.
story. The thing is, I try to make this film as open as possible to interpretation for the audience. Of course, I need to guide them to a certain direction, but I don't like films with a very clear message.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's good to make such kind of film that is open, so the audience have stuff to discuss
Okay.
and to interpret it their own. But the fundamental thing I think it's about how a family reacts to societal, to outside forces and to outside changes, both in terms of society and in terms of this new kid. And I think it also asks the question about family, like what really makes a family.
Oh, okay. So the movie itself, it has like open ending or?
Yes, it has open ending, but it also has multiple layers that you can also interpret. And I would say, not just the ending that is open, it's also the relationship with the character is open, which is something that I rarely see in cinemas. Like you start identify with this outsider, and sometimes you don't like him, sometimes you like him. It's a very complicated relationship, and at the end, each audience might take away with a different version of this character in their mind.
In the movie itself, is there like any hint that viewers need to pay attention to understand the movie itself? That I think you must have like your own vision about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's fun for the viewers to interpret the movie by themselves, but is there like some kind of hint in each scene of the movie, so like the viewers can catch the vision of the movie on yours?
Yeah. There are some details, especially, in some of the dialogues, of course, but this is when you watch the film and then maybe watch until the end, you would think of some of the things that the character said in the middle of the film, then you start wondering how she interpreted that. And also there's hints in the wardrobe, in the character, especially the main character, how they dress, and in relation to other characters, how they dress, that also tells, that's also some details that the audience should pay attention to. It was very nice in yesterday's Q&A, someone asked about the choice of costume, so I think it was getting through to some of the audience.
Oh, okay. For Mr. Howard, do your movies also have like open ending or just have like a direct storyline?
Hesitation Won't is a courtroom drama, and it's a character-driven film. We basically follow main character Canan from beginning to the end, and Canan is basically stuck between her professional and personal life, and she has to make some difficult moral choices on the way. And then basically I try to focus on like not the result of this conflicts, but like how she's reacting throughout the way. And one of the important thing, it's explained in the film why the title of the film Hesitation Wound. It's a medical term, but hesitation, the word itself, tells a lot because like the characters are in the gray area, hesitating for their decisions. So we are trying to capture like their reactions basically to the situation. And the ending is like, to me, it's not open. It's interesting because from filmmaker's perspective and the audience perspective, it's different. Sometimes audience want like really exact, things like what happened, and then the film is actually trying to do something opposite because the film is, telling what you're wondering is less important than what happened here and why it happened. So like instead of that, just focus on this. So that's why I think if you think a little bit, you also understand like what happened at the end. But the film doesn't say it like directly, so that at least tries to mirror audience and reflects what she is like, what the main character is going through, so they could ask themselves what they would do if they were her. So basically, we could call it open ending, but I think also in a way it's clear.
I wanted to say one thing about. Do you need to translate?
Oh,
What you
no,
say? I wanted to say one thing about the open ending. It's not that it's an ending that is unresolved. It's more like it's an ending that is open because everyone will have their own interpretation afterwards. So in that way, it's open. It's not because it's unresolved or anything. There are unresolved stuff, but it's not the point. But everyone will walk away with a certain kind of interpretation.
Oh,
Interesting.
I agree with that. Both of you doing the Q&A section with the Indonesian audience, what are they most interested about the movie? From JJ maybe?
You mean were they most interested
in the movie?
Asking about, I don't know. I think a lot of the stuff, like they are very interested in the choice of this biology perspective. Also very interested in the choice of like sound design, music, and cinematography. And also they are very curious about the social aspect of it. Yeah, because it touches upon the one-child policy in China and the aftermath of it, and now the country opens up to like parents being able to have more kids, and how that affects the family dynamic. So they are curious about multiple layers in the story, which I'm very happy about because it's not just one thing; it's all these different things that they can talk about after. And they're also interested because this is maybe something more relevant, universal in a way, because the story is also revolving around a coming of age of a kid. He's trying to decide whether to become the version that he wants to be or to kind of become the version that his parents want him to be. I think this is a very universal, like a life decision that a teenager has to face.
I think the most of the questions were related with the psychology of the main character, which made me happy because sometimes, since there's many local elements in the film, it might be difficult. Like you sometimes questions if they understood everything, and what I saw, they not only understood the story well, but also the nuances and power dynamics, in the film. So that's why they ask like more than that. Like they ask like the questions of why, not how. So and then we mostly discuss about the reasons behind why I did such a film, and then the reasons of the main characters, her decisions, etc. So we mainly talk about these issues.
Oke. Kalau dari Mas Khan sendiri pas sesi Q&A film Malam Pertobatan itu sendiri, apa yang paling banyak ditanyain sama audiens di sana?
Ya lebih kayak sebenarnya hampir sama ya, karena film Malam Pertobatan itu juga kita lebih ke open ending gitu. Dan kemarin ada salah satu audiens yang tanya kayak, menurutku ini filmnya nggak selesai deh, karena dari awal tuh keputusan adegan di dalam penembakan itu tuh sangat jelas gitu, siapa yang mati itu sangat jelas, tapi di ending kita nggak tahu nih kalau Baron, karakter utamanya itu yang aku mainkan, itu apakah dia mati atau enggak sih gitu. Tapi menurut aku justru ending semacam itu sangat menarik. Kemarin aku bilang sama yang nanya kalau sebenarnya bagaimana film itu berakhir di film Malam Pertobatan itu sebenarnya menunjukkan bagaimana cara berpikir kita as a person gitu. Kalau kamu percaya kalau Baron itu meninggal, ya artinya kamu orang yang pesimis. Kalau kamu percaya bahwa Baron itu orang yang
masih hidup,
berarti kamu orang yang optimis gitu. Itu kan kayak semacam ini kan refleksi bagaimana tentang cara kita berpikir atau menghadapi situasi-situasi tertentu. Kadang kita juga dalam hidup dihadapkan sama hal-hal ya, kayak gitu kan, sesuatu yang ada di depan yang kita sebenarnya nggak benar-benar tahu. Ketika kita fokusnya pada hal yang buruk, ya berarti kita emang orang yang pesimis gitu. Lebih ke sesederhana itu sih menurutku. Jadi kayak aku malah justru suka film-film yang open ending, karena menurutku film-film semacam itu aku sebagai penonton ya, kalau nonton film-film open ending itu aku jadi bisa lebih tahu sebenarnya aku orang yang seperti apa.
Oh gitu, karena interpretasi
iya
kita
gitu kan, itu mencerminkan siapa kita sebenarnya.
Oke. Gitu. Kalau untuk film Malam Pertobatan itu sendiri selama di JWC itu diputar berapa kali dan tiap hari?
Sekali sih kemarin doang.
Oh gitu.
Iya,
tapi nanti bisa diputar bisa ditonton di Klik Film
ya. Streaming online.
Harapannya nih Mas Khan buat si JWC 2024 ini sendiri tuh kira-kira apa nih? Apakah ada masukan atau apa ingin mengutarakan rasa senang dan bangganya sudah bisa berpartisipasi di festival ini?
Ya pasti happy banget bisa join di JWC tahun ini gitu, dan semoga di tahun-tahun ke depan bisa bergabung lagi, dan festivalnya harapannya semoga semakin besar dengan antusiasme dari penonton yang semakin banyak juga.
Oke. Are both your film already finished screening on JWC or is any?
My screening is finished.
I have
yesterday.
One more.
Yes, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Today.
Yes, today.
So basically, it
Go
will be
watch it.
finished when this is air, I think.
So it's gonna be have like Q&A section again.
Yes.
Do you want to say any last comment about your movie to attract maybe Indonesian viewers, even when the JWC already over, but later they can watch on Klik Film. What any last comment about both of you?
I mean, I hope they will watch it on, in theaters and online platforms in Indonesia, because I think, especially in my film, there's similarities they will find probably between Turkey and Indonesia. Have some like common, themes and cultures. So and I'm excited to hear the comments from Indonesian audience. So hope you watch it and makes comments about it. I'm excited to hear those. Thank you.
That's very good. I wanted to say, this is a film, even though it's a Chinese story, but it's made for an international audience. So I'm very excited to also know what the audience here are responding. It's a very special thriller and mystery, and I hope you will enjoy it no matter where you are. But hopefully in theaters. But if online, then make sure you have very good sound system. It will be a very different experience.
Oke. Kalau dari Mas Khan sendiri, last statement-nya untuk film Malam Pertobatan.
Nah, buat teman-teman Sobat Grid, jangan lupa nonton film Malam Pertobatan yang bakal ada di Klik Film. Film ini menarik karena nggak cuman menceritakan sepenggal kisah drama, tapi sebenarnya ini kan bagian daripada sejarah Indonesia tahun 1980-an ya. Jadi kayak filmnya itu nggak cuman sebatas hiburan, tapi juga sebagai sebuah pelajaran bahwa kita sebagai bangsa Indonesia pernah ada di masa semacam itu. Jadi aku pikir buat aku pribadi pun film ini penting gitu. Aku happy ada di film yang mengangkat kisah semacam itu gitu, karena aku pikir menjadi bangsa yang baik adalah bangsa yang tahu tentang sejarahnya, negaranya.
Betul. Oke Sobat Git. Nah selain 3 film representasi dari aktor dan juga sutradara ini, JWC 2024 itu juga punya banyak film-film menarik lainnya yang juga bisa ditonton, bisa dicek film-film apa aja, bisa ditonton kapan, di mana, itu bisa dicek aja di website officialnya Jakarta World Cinema atau sosial medianya JWC 2024 juga. Nah, itu dia sih Sobat Git, akhir kata Selebriti Punya Cerita. Berakhir di sini, sampai jumpa di Selebriti Punya Cerita lainnya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Terima kasih sudah menonton video ini. Jangan lupa subscribe dan aktifkan lonceng notifikasi supaya kamu nggak ketinggalan video terbaru dari Grit.